All right, starting the back nine now, hole 10. Beyond the hole where marked in white is OB. I have no idea what that means. But to be honest, 293, we need to aim this at that tree out there, that big full tree straight ahead with a decent amount of height. I don't know if that's gonna be left enough. We put it right at the tree we wanted to go at. It's a blind shot, so your guess is as good as mine. We'll find out. Should be an easy par. I played it exactly how I wanted to. I just guessed wrong about where the basket was at. Because that's that tree I said I wanted to aim at. Expecting it to fade over here to where I'm at. I didn't know the basket was right underneath the tree though. Thought I snagged it. Being holed out, as it were. I need fingernail clippers. I always need fingernail clippers. I should have fingernail clippers in the truck. Hole 11, 225. Again, distance isn't the problem. You just got to throw a good shape here to throw this echo. On the left side of the guardian tree, knowing that I'm going to turn it a little bit and then it'll kind of stall fade at the end. That's the plan. 225. I don't need a ton of distance. Just a nice, even stroke. Just a nice, even stroke. Boy, that did exactly, with the exception of it actually hitting the tree, did exactly what I said I wanted to do. Throw it left of the tree, let it turn, and then stall fade on the right side of it. And it's kind of like when the running back in the NFL has like a 99-yard. They get tackled at the 1-yard line. You got to give it to them and let them get the score for doing the majority of the work. So all that to say, we're going to putt it out with the echo. Hole 12, which was actually hard for me to spot there for a second. It's only 240 feet. It's actually up on the left side of the fairway up there. It's kind of, you go up this hill and then down. Like I said, it's only 240 feet. It'll probably be on like the right center-ish of your screen due to the angle here. But I'm gonna try to go with the echo again and actually throw this on more of a hyzer and see if I can display some of the versatility of this disc and why it's one of my favorite ones. And see, that's more of a straight. Now, as long as I didn't throw it too far, we should have maybe a 15-footer. This is even closer than the previous hole. Could have just brought my echo out here for most of these shots. I vaguely remember 13. I definitely remember where 13's tee pad is here. You got this sloped hill with all these baskets and play lined out here through my right. But this basket is 266. Downhill, really hard left. You can't even see the basket from where you're at. Oh, that didn't help. I think that was looking good. I honestly don't think that it was going to have enough fade. We're here short and right of the basket by about 40 feet, which again seems to be the theme today. This one's downhill though. This will be a different putt, which would be nice. I'm sick of putting uphill. I am just not putting enough on these putts. Hole 14 it says it's 208. It's uphill though. It's up there on the right. I actually got the camera on the long tee pad right now. Does it have the fade? It's putting. Let's see what the pyro would have done. Okay, so we had the distance perfect. It's right at pin height. Just, I don't know, maybe it's only about, probably 10 feet here. We're gonna give it a little mark because we're on this hillside. And I don't feel like playing with this tree. And I need birdies badly. All right, so hole 15, which will be kind of fun. We got a headwind, downhill, 355, par 3. My concern is the headwind. So I want to try to hyzer this maybe at that long tee pad out there. and hopefully it doesn't flip up. Well, that's definitely not going to flip up. I didn't match the hill at all. Other than that, it would have been a good shot. What a generous roll. What a generous roll. I don't know where it came from, but there was like a ripping wind through here, which you could feel on the tee pad, but not as bad as what it is down here. Got lucky with that roll. Rolled it right back inside 12 feet for me. So we'll take a undeserved birdie, but I'll take what the course gives me. But hole 16, par 4, 430 uphill. That cannot be the basket then. There's no way that that is 430. This has got to be past it down the hill or something. Left side of fairway marked in white OB, right side of fairway marked in white near 17's basket, which has got to be that. Mandatory to the left at edges of the OB markers near basket 17. That'll be just fine. I came out flat. I wanted it to come out a little bit higher, but trying to get it up the hill, came out flat. Luckily, it just turned a little bit and still came out and faded at the end. I'm dying. This Mucinex has me all dried up. All right, so what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna throw the koi right at it, expecting that it's gonna flip up and maybe even turn a little bit. But if it doesn't, and I stall it out early, it shouldn't go super far left. That's kind of my concern. A little bit of fade at the end should be perfect. Get in there. That should be a 10-footer. I love the fact that I'm starting to trust these kois for upshots. We're going to ignore the foot fault there of me standing on my disc. All right, so hole 17, you can see it right out there in the middle. It's that same basket we saw from the last tee pad that we were kind of aiming towards. It's only 252. Beyond the basket marked in white is OB. Mandatory left of the ends of the OB markers. It doesn't make any sense. See, problem there is I didn't throw it low. Everything else was pretty good about it. All right, so got like a circle's edger here, probably. Actually, 100% sure. This is the whisker right here. So we got a 32.5 footer. At least I can accept that. Missing it on the right side, center height, just pulled it a little bit right. I'm okay with that. I don't like missing it shorter left. All right, final hole. Hole 18, and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to talk about the course at the end, give it a little review, but spoiler alert, it's going to be pretty good. All that said, this is an underwhelming hole 18. It's 236 downhill, so it probably plays like 180. Let's see if the tempo's got the stability. I'm going to throw kind of right at it because I think this wind's going to pull hard right. I swear I was expecting that to go over the road that whole time. I was just sitting there waiting. Yes, I wouldn't expect any fireworks with this putt where the tempo is at. It's barely in bounds. It's right here is edge of circle 1. So it's pushing the limits of circle 2. And I don't even know if I'm going to, yeah, it's fine. It's circle 2. Expect this to be short and left, like everything else in my life. All right, well, at least it was long and right, not short and left. All right, so that wraps it up for us here at Oak Hall. Like I said, I played this back in May of 2022. I'm gonna go through the UDisc rating system and rate this course, but spoiler alert, it's gonna be a lot of 4s because I don't like to give out 5s unless something's like above and beyond, but most of the things on this course are really good. So the upkeep, I'm gonna give it an easy 4, just because everything's nice and clean. I don't know if I'm just getting lucky and coming out on days that's mowed, or what? Shot variety and design. I'm going to give the course a 5 on that. And the reason why for that is that I scored 9 under here, and I feel like all 18 holes that I can recall were all scoreable, but none of them were standard or easy. Like every hole had a demand they had to meet. Like a lot of the elevation changes. If the hole was short, there was some kind of, I don't want to call it gimmick because that's got a negative connotation to it, but there was some sort of demand of the hole. And if you met the demand, chances of scoring are high, but if you miss the demand, you can still scramble and save a par pretty easily. I didn't have any bogeys out here because you really have to shank something into some of the rough trees to do that. So long story short, we'll give it a 5. Tee areas, now that there are tee pads, both long and short, they all look fantastic. Probably the best tee pads I've ever seen. Obviously, they're probably a year old at most. But I like the double tee pad design where it's 2 slabs of concrete and the front slab having the white or blue strip at the front to tell you whether it's short or long. Just a easy to the eye distinction if you're in the right place based on what layout you're playing. So tee pads are going to get a 5 as well. Signage and wayfinding. So here's one that's really hard for me to evaluate because every long and short tee pad had a hole that at least gave you the basic information. So that's what I considered the necessary items to get you a 3. The short tee pads didn't have the map, and I don't know whether to take that as a con or not, because I don't know that it's necessary to see a hole layout. There were only like 2 or 3 holes to where it was a blind shot and the map would have been nice there. I don't know if that's necessary, but I don't know that you save much money by not adding the map to the sign. I don't think that you save much money there, so I don't know what the thinking was behind that. I'm not going to knock them for it, though. I'm going to just stick with the 3. All the signs were nice. There were a lot of signs warning, you know, because this is a multi-use course, a multi-use park, warning on like the trailheads and stuff to other people to watch out for discs. Several times I thought those were tee signs and I was walking to them. So my thing is that if I didn't have U-disc, I probably would have been lost a couple times and wandering around, and I kind of remember doing that 2 years ago. So I can't do any better than a 3 on that. They just need something on the basket that points to the next tee pad, even if it only points to just the long tee pad, because you can easily navigate from the long to the short. I'd rather walk a little bit more distance knowing where I'm going than walking a longer distance just wandering around being confused. So 3 for the signage and wayfinding. Amenities. This one's hard for me to score because on a course I've never been to before, or you know, I've only been here once years ago. I don't know what else is around here. There's playgrounds, there's picnic tables. I don't see any bathrooms, so I don't feel like I can rate it above or below a 3 because I don't know. So we're just gonna stick with a 3 there. Nothing bad, nothing great. Scenery and views, I'm gonna stick with the 4. It's gonna be hard to beat. You gotta have some real scenic things, and this course has some great hills. Like I love this terrain out here. This is easily one of my top courses. But we're gonna go with the 4 for the scenery and views just because I feel like it has to have something really chef's kiss to give it that 5 for that one. But nothing wrong with a 4. Course info and accuracy, I feel like everything was pretty accurate, so I'm going to give it a 5 on that. I feel like you kind of start off with a 5 and you start dinging things where you see mistakes. I didn't notice any mistakes. Everything seemed pretty straightforward. And overall, the course, I'm going to give it a... This is by far one of the top 5 courses I've ever played. It's one of my 5 favorites. Every time I come to Pittsburgh, I'll make sure to play this one. So we're going to stick with 4.5, which I think is the highest mark you can get without it being just some ridiculously great course. 4.5 is really good. So in the Pittsburgh area, if you're looking for a course to play, Oak Hollow is great. I would say just double check that the park opens up at 8 a.m., not 7 a.m. If you're looking at Google Maps, I'll try to see if we can get that corrected. Not that I have any say-so, but I can submit the suggestion. But it's a great course. You should definitely come out. If you're in the area and looking for a course to play, I would highly recommend this one. And I'll see if I can get out to another course this weekend and do one more video, if not maybe 2. That's it. As always, I appreciate you guys for stopping by the channel. If you found this useful or enjoyed the video at all, please make sure to give it a like. That'll help out the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. I swear I was expecting that to go over the road that whole time. I was just sitting there waiting. You're throwing envy at it. It's just got to be a little flick, I guess. I don't know if I'm happy that didn't go in or if I wish it had, because that was such a beautiful flight.